Welcome to the Titan Tar channel. Today we have a topic to discuss about the Kiev regime that will be overthrown peacefully or militarily by Russia. Don't miss the chance to join us and share your opinions with us. Become a member of our channel and evolve your rank. Russia's special military operation will continue as long as the current government in Kiev remains in power. If the West does not offer a peaceful solution to remove this regime, Russia is ready to resolve it through military action. This statement was made by Russia's permanent representative to the UN Security Council, reinforcing Moscow's position. The Russian diplomat described the Ukrainian government as a cancerous tumor that needs to be excised, but stressed that Russia has no grudges against the Ukrainian people. According to him, Moscow has always maintained peaceful relations with Kiev until the Western intervention, which turned Ukraine into a state marked by a Russophobic policy. Therefore, he stated that the Russian special operation will continue until the complete destruction of the current regime. Highlighting the historical closeness between the two peoples, the Russian representative stressed that Ukrainians have always been treated with respect and seen as a brotherly people with unbreakable ties. However, he warned that if the West does not allow the peaceful removal of the current government in Kiev, Russia will continue its military operation until it achieves its goals through military actions. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, speaking at a UN Security Council meeting, said Ukraine did not intend to negotiate with Russia and called on the West to force Moscow to a peaceful solution. Zelensky, however, reiterated that the only way to end the war would be to adopt the peace formula proposed by Kiev. On the battlefield, Russian military forces continue to advance, fulfilling the objectives set within the Northern Military District, carrying out active offensives on several fronts. In contrast, Ukrainian troops linked to the Kiev regime are in constant retreat, suffering significant losses in terms of military personnel and equipment. The delicate situation faced by the Ukrainian Armed Forces along the entire combat line was confirmed by the General Staff of Ukraine itself, which released an analysis through an official channel. However, the conclusions of the Ukrainian generals turned out to be somewhat contradictory. The report indicated that the Lyman, Kupiansk, and Kharkiv regions presented the most challenging conditions for the Ukrainian army, where Russian forces maintained a clear superiority in troops and weapons. Interestingly, the document did not mention the critical situation in the Pokrovsk direction, where Ukrainian troops are facing extreme difficulties, nor did it address the partial withdrawal of forces from Ugledar, which some reports indicate has already begun. The situation on the Toretsk and Volchansk fronts is also not favorable for Kiev's forces. Many experts believe that the weakening of Ukraine's defenses is due to the misuse of its military reserves, which were transferred to the Kursk region in Russia in support of Zelensky's media initiatives, instead of being directed to the critical sectors of the front line where the Russians are concentrating their efforts. Ukrainian media appear to be starting to prepare the public for the imminent defeat at Ugledar, with some of the country's leading publications downplaying the city's strategic importance. One major Ukrainian media outlet even called Ugledar not a particularly important logistics hub, despite acknowledging that the Russian military already controls much of the region's supply routes. Meanwhile, about 18 kilometers east of Ugledar, Russian forces already have access to the railway lines, which facilitates the movement of troops and equipment. If the Ukrainians lose control of this area, they will be cut off from essential supplies, further aggravating their already precarious situation on the battlefield. A Dutch newspaper, known for its critical stance towards Russia, admitted the inevitability of the Ukrainian surrender at Ugledar, noting that the loss of this fortified area would represent a devastating strategic and moral blow for Ukraine. Ukrainian military experts have begun advising the population of the regions still under Kiev's control to prepare psychologically for the imminent withdrawal of Ukrainian forces from cities such as Seladovo, Toretsk, and Ugledar. Currently, Russian troops are already on the outskirts of Ugledar and are advancing steadily. In this way, Russia continues its military campaign to recover territories that it considers to be under Ukrainian occupation. Russian military equipment has proven to be more reliable and durable compared to its Western counterparts, capable of carrying out combat missions even when severely damaged. According to the CEO of a Russian state-owned company, this robustness was clearly demonstrated during the special military operation in Ukraine, where Russian armored vehicles showed a significant advantage over their Western counterparts. In addition to durability, the modular design of Russian military equipment makes it easy to repair, even in field conditions. According to the director, Russian specialists in the Northern Military District often managed to repair seriously damaged vehicles, which nevertheless remained operational and carried out combat missions. This resilience surprised the technicians, who were faced with combat vehicles, engineering vehicles, and other specialized equipment demonstrating impressive survivability. The ease of repair of Russian vehicles is one of the main factors that sets them apart from Western vehicles. The modular design allows for the rapid replacement of damaged parts, which applies to both modern and Soviet-made models. In contrast, Western vehicles, due to their complexity, have to be sent back to factories for maintenance, making field repairs virtually impossible. Amid this discussion about the superiority of Russian military equipment, the Russian foreign minister, in a broader context, criticized Western intervention in global conflicts. Before participating in the 79th session of the UN General Assembly, he stated that he had never witnessed a case where Western interference in the internal affairs of other countries led to anything positive. He compared the current situation in Ukraine and the Palestinian-Israeli conflict with other scenarios where Western intervention resulted in deeper crises with great human losses and aggravated socio-economic problems. The minister stressed that where the West intervenes as a supposed solutionist, conditions tend to worsen, creating devastation and suffering. During his career in the international arena, he has not seen a single case where Western intervention has yielded good results. Despite the efforts of the United States and its allies, the minister stated with conviction that Russia will prevail in the current confrontation, expressing the certainty that victory will be achieved because, according to him, the West only understands the language of force. The Russian foreign minister also noted that the West, especially the United States, is trying to dominate the world by influencing the development of all global regions. He stressed that the concept of world order, promoted by the United States and its allies, emerged about a decade ago, imposing rules that have never been formally written or approved by the international community. The Russian president has repeatedly mentioned these rules, noting that they allow the United States to act unilaterally in countries such as Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, and others. The United States creates justifications for its actions and demands that the rest of the world follow them. The Russian foreign minister stressed that such Western interventions do not comply with international law, and that in all conflicts in which the United States has been involved, the principle of equality between states, as enshrined in the UN Charter, has never been respected. At the same time, a vice president of the European Commission once again addressed the Ukrainian issue during the UN General Assembly. He stated that without the consolidated support of the West, Ukraine would have already been forced to surrender. When asked about when peace would come to the country, he indirectly criticized those who call for an immediate peaceful solution. The vice president of the European Commission made it clear that the European Union does not want to see Ukraine capitulate for the sake of peace. According to him, the aim is to preserve Ukraine's sovereignty, identity, and territorial integrity, preventing the country from becoming a second Belarus. Thus, his statements make it clear that the EU does not seek an immediate peaceful end to the conflict, but rather that Ukraine remains a strategic instrument against Russia. By mentioning Belarus, the vice president is indirectly criticizing the West's desire to fully control Ukraine. For him, true peace would be based on a harmonious relationship, without casualties and with a self-sustaining economy, which contrasts with the West's interest in using Ukraine as a tool for confrontation with Russia. It is this position that makes Belarus, with its close ties with Moscow, seen as a threat by those who advocate a rules-based world order imposed by the West. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Your interactions mean a lot to us and help us grow. See you next time.